What's going on, Guardians, Warriors, and everybody else who is likely looking at The Crow after this week's seasonal story and saying, what the heck, man? What's going on with all that? Welcome to Thursday, March 17th, 2022. You all know what that means. It's time for this week's issue of the Bungie Weekly blog, This Week at Bungie. And this time around, we've got a few really exciting quality of life changes that we're going to be experiencing really soon, including a much requested reducing of the overall different currencies and materials you have to get in order to use the Enclave to forge weapons. Real good stuff in this week's TWAB. But first things first, we've got a couple of important future dates for events and things that are going to be happening in the game in the near future. As of right now, we're just a few days away from the 1-month anniversary of the Witch Queen's release date. Some of you have blasted your way through the Legendary campaign, while others are still dabbling in side quests and secrets throughout the Throne World Patrol area. We still got a few months of Season of the Risen left, so there's no rush in completing content. Finish things at your own pace and enjoy the ride. But if you're wondering what's coming over the next few weeks, Bungie would like to plant a few dates on your calendar for a few things to look forward to. They've got some Iron Banner dates to share, raid challenges to complete, and Guardian games coming at the end of the season. And as a quick note, of course, all the dates that we're going to be covering here are subject to change. There will also be a few Gambit labs coming within the next few weeks as well. Let's go ahead and take a look at the content release schedule that we've got. First up, March 15th. This week, we've got Iron Banner and a new PsyOps Battlegrounds location on the moon. Go ahead and get it done. The story after that, the cutscene we get is kind of incredible. Next week, March 22nd, we've got the Legend PsyOps Battlegrounds going live, as well as the Vow of the Disciple raid challenges. From April 1st, we've got Trials Labs. Zone Capture will be going live. Then, on April 5th, Grandmaster Nightfalls will be going live. On April 8th, we've got Trials Labs Freelance. On April 12th, Iron Banner will return, and on April 19th, Vow of the Disciples Master Difficulty will unlock. So hopefully you and your Fire team have taken it to Rolk enough times that you guys can understand the incoming mechanics in Master Mode. After that, from May 3rd until May 24th, we've got the Guardian Games Spring Event, where the three main character classes go to war to determine class supremacy. On May 6th, we're also going to be getting Trials Labs, Freelance, and a community-voted map being active. Then, on May 10th, Iron Banner will be returning, and finally, on May 20th, we've got Trials Labs, Freelance, and Zone Capture. So there we go, there's a quick rundown of how things should be looking over the next few months. Honestly, there's a lot of stuff to look forward to there. I'm looking forward to the raid challenges, master mode, and how exactly they're going to be rewarding players for going through all of that. Additionally, I'm really looking forward to seeing how Bungie's going to freshen up Guardian games, and hopefully it's not the boring slog that it has been in some previous years. We'll see. But now that we've talked about that, let's talk about some quality of life changes we are going to be experiencing in the near future. A lot of people have had some opinions about the state of currencies, at least when it comes to the Enclave and the elements and all the kind of stuff you have to gather for forging weapons. My biggest problem with it is the extremely low material cap we have on a lot of these things. Because you can generally only hold like 250 of most of the elements, I wind up completing deep sight resonance weapons and then just storing them in my vault so that, when I've actually used up some of those elements, then I'll pull out some of the completed weapons and then drain them of the elements that they've got. Thankfully, Bungie has listened to our concerns in this arena, and they're going to be making some major changes. Starting next Tuesday with hotfix 4.0.0.4, Bungie's going to be increasing element caps from 250 all the way up to 1,000. And for neutral element, the cap is going to move from 8,500 up to 10,000. But then, in an even bigger move, next season, they are going to be removing ruinous, draw, I think is how you pronounce that, mutable, drowned, and energetic elements. Only neutral elements will remain. Meaning Bungie is essentially going to be homogenizing the elements needed for crafting and reshaping weapons starting next season. Rather than having to have all of these different types of elements, it's just going to be neutral element that you'll be getting from your deep sight weapons, and it's going to be neutral element that you're going to be using at the Enclave. Honestly, this is a change made for simplicity's sake. I was happy with them bumping up the element caps for all the different types of elements already, but moving everything over to neutral, honestly, it seems like a better way to kind of clean up this system. And so I'm really excited to see how that's going to be affecting things moving forward. You guys know me, I never really like it when they put an arbitrary cap on materials that you need to engage in active in-game content. And so I'm definitely looking forward to this change going live. But that's not the only thing. We've also got a few other changes to look forward to at some point in time in the future. And while Bungie doesn't have any specific dates for these future changes, they do want to let the community know that this is what they're looking at. They're looking to add more player control over deep sight weapon unlocking of weapon patterns. Additionally, they're continuing to monitor deep sight weapon stockpiling, acquisition rates and progression, as well as resonant alloy acquisition rates and behavior. Finally, they're also discussing feedback around reshaping costs for those who wish to experiment more frequently with their trait selections. I'm really happy to hear about that last point there. But finally, Bungie wants to issue many thanks to all who've been sounding off with feedback on these new systems. Even after these changes go live, they're going to continue to monitor the conversation. Pairing feedback with data will help inform their next steps as they continue to iterate on crafting. And all of this is really great news to my ears, as I'm very happy to see that Bungie is continuing to positively mold this crafting system they came up with the Witch Queen, which overall I like. I like the weapon shaping and reshaping system. I did think the cost for reshaping is a little on the high side right now, so hopefully we can see some kind of change with that soon. But as long as they're managing these resources that we've had to grind up and making it so that you're not capped at such a low amount, especially for those elements, I'm really, really happy to hear about those changes. And hopefully some of you Guardians are as well. But alright Guardians, that's pretty much it for the biggest bits of news contained in this week's issue of the Bungie Weekly blog, This Week at Bungie. And those are my thoughts on the changes discussed therein. What are yours? Be sure to let me know down in the comment section below. How do you feel about the current crafting system? Do you like some of these element changes? Are you going to be psyched for the other types of elements just going away and everything being rolled into neutral element? Or do you think that created more of an incentive to grind out specific weapons or specific activities? Be sure to let me know how you feel down in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to drop a like, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell to stay up to date with all the latest stuff we're putting out. I'm out for now. As always, I am the Black Link. You Guardians, stay frosty.